Hey, welcome to the channel today. I know a lot of you are changing from the conventional swing to the single plane. Well, you don't want to miss today's segment because we're going to talk to Brock Elmore, who probably changed his swing faster from a conventional swing to single plane than anybody I ever know. So we're going to talk to Brock about how to speed up the change. So there's no better feeling knowing that when you wake up in the morning to go play golf, so that you're going to play well. There's no better feeling of hitting good golf shots down the fairway. So my mission today is to help as many people as possible wake up every day feeling good that they're going to go out there and play great because of the single plane swing. Hey Brock, thanks for joining me today on the channel. I'm excited to have you with me today because I want to hear your story about your process, because you're 23 years old.
Yep.
And you've changed your swing relatively quickly to the single plane. Now you're even coaching for us. You're the director of our Gold coaching program.
Yep.
So one of the questions we always get asked is, how do I speed up the change? How do I speed up the process? We're going to talk about that today. But I want to hear your story of how you learned about, I met you here at the club, but I want to hear your story about how you learned about Mo Norman, and then your kind of story about how you got involved with Graves Golf in the single plane swing.
Yeah, so the first time I had any connection to Mo or anything like that was actually when I was about 6 years old. It was right when he died in 2004, and they played a little ball striking demo on the Golf Channel, and I remember I was sitting at the house, and my dad was downstairs watching TV. I was up playing, doing my thing, and he said, "Hey Brock, you gotta come down here and watch this. This is the greatest ball striker of all time." And I was like, that's Tiger Woods, isn't it? So I run downstairs, and it's this ball striker Mo Norman, and I was like, man, this guy's got a goofy swing, doesn't he? And I was like, are they serious about this? Who is this guy? And my dad started talking, and they kind of told his story a little bit, and that was the first time I ever had any interaction with it. And I didn't really think much of it. I just kind of went about my day.
What did you think about his swing, like Mo's swing? Because it obviously looked very different to you. What did you think about his swing when you were looking at it?
So I thought it was kind of old man golf, to be honest. Just a little half swing, bump it down there. And then, it was kind of amazing because as I started watching it a little bit, every ball was just dead straight, and they were going a lot longer than I thought they would. But it was eye-opening for sure, seeing that.
And then fast forward, when I met you here at the golf shop, you were in the PGM program.
Yep.
And you have a passion for teaching and a passion for helping people, which is what we do at Graves Golf. So we connected, and then you joined our team at Graves Golf, and now you're the director of our coaching program, and we're kind of living the dream, teaching people the single plane swing.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's been awesome. It's been everything I could have dreamed for. When I got into the program, I really knew that I wanted to be involved with the game. I didn't just want to be sitting behind the shop counter, and this really gives me the opportunity to do that and be still close to my family.
Yeah, great. Well, what I want to do, I have you out here because you're going to love seeing Brock swing. I love watching your swing. But we had your conventional swing, which we're going to look at it here and kind of analyze it just so you can kind of refresh, go on a memory lane with me a little bit.
Yeah.
But
so this was actually my last day working out here.
Okay.
Right before I started
what
coming
hole
to work for you.
Is that 15?
18.
18, okay, yeah, 18. Okay, so let's just kind of, and so just so the audience can see, we're going to see the dramatic difference between conventional and single plane. Yeah. But you're a decent golfer, right? And you have a decent swing, and you played okay, but you struggled. Like you would struggle with your game. The inconsistency you tell me about all the time. You'd shoot 68, 85.
Yeah.
There some major changes, right?
Yeah. There was tournaments I'd go out there in the PGM, and I'd be leading after day one, and ended up being 15th. It's very frustrating to have to do that. So
let's just look at your conventional swing, and let me just draw a line on there so you can kind of see. Now, I know that looks like a little bit of an arbitrary line, but I got it going from the club head under your armpit, right? This is really the impact plane, right? This is where you're going to impact. So, and you can see that your hands are really low, and then the club is actually on a separate plane. That's what we call two planes, right?
Right.
So when you're taking the club back, you actually do a nice job planing the club. See how it gets on plane there? That's kind of what we recommend.
Yeah.
You get to the top nicely, and you actually plane it coming down. Look at this, you plane it coming down, and you end up on that line of impact.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of good in your conventional swing. However, here's what the bad is of this, is look at the body lift.
Oh yeah, no doubt about that.
So the extension, we talked about that. But here's my question for you. You impact on that plane line. So what we always tell people is, why not start where you're going to impact, right? Tell me about, did you have back issues?
Yeah, I did. So I actually had a pretty severe back injury my sophomore year of college, where I separated my tailbone from my spine.
Really?
Yeah, it really put me out of the game, and that was a kind of dark place in my life because I wasn't able to
playing
compete.
golf?
And yeah,
really,
couldn't do anything. I almost couldn't walk for.
Well, for a young guy, you have back problems, but
Yeah.
you can see it here. There's a lot of extension, you
No
know,
doubt.
and you're a
Yeah.
strong guy, so I mean, you're putting a lot of speed into your body
Yeah.
there. So, and you can see, you know, the club finishes a bit high here, and your body's kind of standing up, but it
Yeah.
has to because you're starting it kind of low.
Yeah.
So, what I would like to hear, and I think what anybody changing to a single point swing would like to hear, is tell me how your process, because you've mastered this pretty quickly.
Yeah.
What we can do is, why don't you hit one real quick?
Yeah.
We'll look at your swing. I'm going to actually videotape you doing this so
Yeah.
we can analyze this too, and we can see some major differences here.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, let's take a look at your swing real quick, and then we'll do a face on too.
Yeah.
Okay, there's that single plane alignment that I basically drew on the other swing.
Yeah.
But now you have it lined up at address, which gives you what we call space, right? We now
Yeah.
have space that we need. And then you can see the lead arm is above the trail arm. So, and your legs are straight. So, I mean, not a lot to that, but it's important because I'm just gonna fast forward this, how when you go to impact, how that club is back on that plane line. See how it's returning back to the plane?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we're trying to do, is return it. Now look at your foot can stay down. And the other thing too is your spine. See how your spine is staying in position? See how it's not extending up?
Yeah.
That's saving your back.
Yeah. It's been great for me.
That's been helpful right there. But I love the fact that you're, again, still planing the club nicely, right? You get it down on the plane, and then you return it to the plane at impact, and then it even planes through here. People don't realize that you'd plane the club through there as well.
Yeah.
Let's do a quick face on.
Yeah.
All right, so from the face-on view, obviously, what we coach is that alignment of the lead arm in the club,
Yep.
right? I love the lead foot having some rotation to it. And this one's kind of straight out, but like you walk, right? And then, so there's our position one, nice leverage position at the top. And you talked to me about your tendency was to get over-rotated a
Oh
lot.
yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
It was a bad problem that I would go almost to 120 degrees with that torso. I mean,
Really?
I would really over
Yeah.
rotate.
So this looks pretty good. You're maybe at about 90 degrees
Yeah.
there with the torso. And then there's that transition, which you do very nicely into that knee.
Yeah.
Love that. I really like your hitting position here when you come down. I really like this position. When you're in a really nice strong position there
Yeah.
in your hitting position. That's a classic, beautiful hitting position where club is still leveraged.
Yeah.
Now you're going to deliver the club in impact. You get a nice amount of shaft lean in there, which looks great. The hands are leading. Right foot staying down. Weight's still on the lead leg. A lot of people
Yeah.
get confused that the weight should be on the trail foot. It's not. It's on the lead foot.
Yeah. We
And
see
then,
a lot of that.
yeah, and then you release the club. And I love the way from here, your head has stayed back, but then it actually moves forward from that point forward. It needs to move forward from there, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people think you should keep your head still. Well, you want it, basically through impact, but you need it moving after impact.
Yeah. No doubt.
And I just love your golf swing. I think it's powerful. I think it's really good. I love the way your body is stopping through here and the arms are releasing.
Yeah.
And I think what's going to be most helpful to people watching this is talking about the changes that you made to do that.
Yeah.
So walk me through, if you can kind of recall, what were the main things that you had to change? And I know the address position and stuff, but tell me what you kind of struggled with.
Yeah. So really the grip was the first thing that was like the hardest thing for me, because in my conventional swing I had a very, very strong grip, and that's how I always felt powerful, which isn't necessarily true, but that was
Did you hook it?
a lot. Yeah. Yeah, really bad. And that was something that was a really big struggle, was to kind of weaken that grip.
Explain what a strong grip is. Maybe people don't quite know what a strong
Right, so
grip is.
if we always want that neutral grip, so the lead hand facing the target with the single plane, and when you get a strong grip, your hand is going to go more, your lead hand is going to go more on top of the club and turn more to the right, which actually is very hard to square back up.
Yeah, it shuts the face.
Yeah.
So it shuts the face to the plane, and then when you get to impact, you're having to hold it off,
Yeah,
pretty much.
yeah, no doubt. And yeah, so that was a big change for me, and then also just getting comfortable with overlap, but that didn't take
What were
very
you?
long.
Interlock?
I was interlocking, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but to be honest, I didn't really think that took that long. I mean, it was just gripping
Well,
a club every day for about 2
and maybe,
weeks.
one of the things I've been dealing with a lot is grip pressure, right? And here's the problem that here's the problem that conventional people, the thought process in conventional golf.
Yeah.
You've heard the term of hold the bird like a bird, hold like a bird in your hands or whatever. And I think it's just BS. And I'll tell you why. Because the way biomechanics works, as you know, is that you may have more pressure in this hand than this hand. So you can't say both hands. Like this hand needs to really hold on to the golf club. That's what you were dealing with when you changed your grip. You had to really grab that club to make sure it was staying in its rotation and its position.
Right.
Well, this hand can be lighter. This hand is not as much pressure. So you got tons of pressure here and you got very little pressure here.
Right.
So to say generally, well, you hold the bird lightly. No, you hold it. You grab the club with your lead hand and you barely,
That's
so
right.
this is what we deal with when we coach people is like, okay, these concepts that are out there, we have to kind of work through these concepts that people already have.
Yeah, no doubt. So really it was a big grip thing, and then just kind of getting and feeling that address position. And then the first thing for me was really lower body movement was the next big one.
Address position with your grip. How about the side bend? Any issues with that?
Yeah,
that goes with lead hand.
Yeah,
kinda.
so it was kind of that whole alignment and getting that rod position and getting that correct side bend. When I'd first started making that transition, I still had a lot of tightness in my lower back from that injury. So getting into that position was kind of hard for me to do for a while, but once I started, kind of stretching that out and getting the feeling for it, it was no big deal.
So teach me the address position, if you would.
Right, yeah.
Kind of what you went through. I'll grab a ball for you.
Yeah, so I remember one of the first things I watched when I got here and that I was taught was that three-piece address position drill that you can do, and it's really about getting this grip correct in that lead hand, making sure that you've got that full rotation in that neutral position. So it's really about getting this correct and then establishing that rod with it being on top of your chest, right? And that automatically, when I do that, it was getting me into my side bend, I felt like. So then I would get in here and establish my distance, step in with the trail foot, and then set my ball position and stance width, create my side bend, and then bring that trail hand from underneath.
And what that does, stay right there for just a second. So we created the rod first, which is the alignment of the lead arm, which then the side bend gets the right side lower than the left, so now you have the left arm above the right arm.
Right.
And then your space, you have the right space, so now this is directly on the single plane.
Right.
So you established that with your lead side, mostly. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, because that's the most, that's kind of interesting because that was your trouble was lead hand, so you had to really get that right, so you made sure you got that right first.
Yeah, and that was my big focus, was just being able to get into this position, create that side bend, create that rod, and then I could get stance width. And then it was just about getting.
So stay right there for a second. So what you see Brock doing there is when he went side bend and he brought the arm up above the chest, he put the upper arm into a full rotation. So when he brings the forearm back, see the lead arm is isolated, it allows the back of the hand to go to the target. So that's exactly what just happened to his lead arm. So he's establishing lead arm position first, and then with the side bend, notice how my right side is lower. It then comes up and it's in the correct single plane position. So that's very lead side focused. I like that. Yeah.
So the next thing was kind of, after getting that, it was just visual problems for me. Because, as a lot of our students always say, is, they always feel like they're aiming right because of that side bend issue, when in reality your chest is actually open. Getting that feeling was kind of tough.
So let's talk through that so they understand that. So,
and
I've talked about this a few times on my channel, but what you see happening, I'm going to grab another one of your clubs here.
Yeah.
So when you see Brock at address, you're seeing from a down the line view, it appears, and this is once again where conventional golf misses it, because just because the shoulders, the front of the arms, that's what the shoulders are here, the front of the arms appear to be aiming right of the target, right? That was what conventional golf would say. It's not true, because the torso, blade to blade of your torso is aiming left of the target. Yeah. So his body is actually open. It's in an open rotation. Let's approximately 15 degrees, maybe a few. Right, you're in the 15-20 range like me.
Right.
15 degrees open, but just because what I want you to do is just drop the club on the ground, and then put your arms next to your side, and see. Look, his torso's open. But just because put your arms back in front of you, just because he puts his arms back in front of him, and his shoulders look like they're aiming to the right, he's not aiming to the right.
Yeah.
And this is where again it's biomechanics. It's not. Oh, make sure all these alignments match up. There's nothing biomechanically normal about trying to get all these joints to line up to the target.
Right.
Biomechanicaly, it's just not what needs to happen.
Right.
Great. So go sit there again. I love your setup position. Let's look at it one more time.
Okay.
And I'll point out the things that you just talked about. So neutral lead hand, to the face, lead arm above trail arm, you got because of your side bend. Tell me about your trail hand position. How does that feel on there?
So it's always coming from underneath, and really for me, the big thing is just making sure I get that pinch right there between those two, and that correct grip pressure, because really the rest of my fingers, they're just kind of sitting there. They're not really doing a lot.
And stay there. I'm going to bring your jacket up a little bit.
Okay.
Notice how the wrist is flat with the arm. There's no hinge in that wrist.
Right.
The wrist is released. That's important too. So you both wrists are released there. Yeah. Nice. And see the spacing between the arms? I like that. I always tell you should be able to fit a fist in there. You don't want to be, because if he tries to put those arms close together, it creates rotation in the arm. So keeping some space in there, which is nice. Yep. All right, hit one more there while you've been standing there forever.
Yeah.
I love the directness of your swing. Do it one more time. I mean, I love the attack of the swing. It's an aggressive, accelerated motion.
Yeah.
Nice. So, as we wrap up here, because we're going to do a number of segments, you and me, we're going to talk about elements of the swing, trying to coach people through it, because that's our job is coaching, and that's your position with Graves Golf is to help coaches coach our students.
Yeah.
You're the director of our Gold Coaching Program, and so the final question I want you to kind of put out there, because in the link below in this channel, I'm going to put a link to our coaching program.
Yeah.
And look, you know me, I want to coach everybody the single plane swing. I want to help people. How important is it to get coaching and help?
Oh, it's everything. I mean, a lot of people, I'm sure a lot of these people on YouTube and stuff, they're trying out there do it themselves. I tried that myself when I first started, and I quickly realized that it just wasn't going to happen. You know, I really needed the support from you. I needed the support from the guys. You know, I would go out and take video, and I think that's really the key, is going out and taking video, bringing it in, showing it to the coach, and then they can tell you what to work on. You know, because I was working with the company, I was learning the things so I could identify it, but I didn't always identify the correct things.
Didn't know how to change it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a really big help for me to just go out. I mean, I was doing it, you know, 2 or 3 times a week, taking some video, doing some drills, taking video of it, going it in, showing the guys, and then going from there, and they'd tell me what to work on, and I'd go work on it.
If I was a student that's watching this video, and I said, okay, I want to master this golf swing as fast as possible, tell me what they should do. Tell me the most important 3 things that they should do.
Join the coaching program, okay? So that way that we can help you along every step of the way. Take video twice weekly and send it to the coaches of your full swing, and then of a drill that they give you.
I'll probably put together a schedule, like a schedule. Like, because what you talked about is you had a regimented schedule that you're like, you know, because look, you know, and we'll wrap it up here, but you know as well as I do that just trying it is not going to get there. You need somebody telling you exactly what to do, how to get in the positions, and you can speed up this process so fast. The people that take the longest to get through this are trying to do it on their own, and they're not doing it correctly. So getting it done correctly is the key.
Yeah, and that's one of the benefits of that Gold membership, is I'll create you a 90-day practice plan. Really give you some focused, scheduled practice to go out and work on.
There's that scheduled plan, right? Yeah. 90-day plan. Get videos to the coaches. Don't just join and don't send videos in. You got to send videos to the coaches. Let the coaches help you through it.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. Yeah. We'll do another video, and we're going to talk about lower body movement on the next one.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks for joining me. By the way, don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell icon, and I'll see you on the next video.